Welcome to Talking Bad Lands, the recap show that is the best on YouTube. Go ahead, Google it. Google that shit. You'll find out that these recaps will show up. Much love to all the producers and creators of the show. Tonight, episode 4, Two Tigers Subdue Dragons. With me is my indomitable co-host. Said that right, good. Phil the Issues Guy from Phil's Recap and Review. The best recap show, better than mine, on YouTube. Covering Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing very, very well, John. It's good to be here. Good to talk about Into the Badlands for a couple more episodes. I'm really excited for these last couple of weeks of the show.
Amazing. This is the first week without The Walking Dead. That's pretty much all we're going to say about that because we don't want to get into a whole kind of crazy thing. But I think that this was probably one of the strongest episodes. This
was the best. I'm sorry, John, but this was. I come out here and say this every week, but this was the best episode of the season.
No, absolutely. I would definitely agree. How would you rank the episodes right now? If somebody asked you how well which episode is your favorite from like top 3?
Okay. I would say that all in all, now they've had a chance to watch them all again and look back. I did a little marathon thing to catch Stephanie up with the season. I would say this was my favorite episode. The premiere was my second favorite episode. Then I would say episode 2, and then episode 3 was probably my or is this 5 or is this 4?
This is 4.
This is 4. Episode 3 was my least favorite, but that's not saying it was horrible. It was just not. It didn't have enough interesting things for me going in the story on a rewatch, and not enough fights. This episode again didn't have too many fights, but it felt like. When you're with a girl or with a boy and you want to get some and you're just, you can get it, and it's just a buildup, like that sexual tension. We got fight tension in this episode. Yep. And then when it finally exploded, it was like a perfect orgasm of action all exploding at the same time, that final fight sequence. This was just such a well-crafted episode from story, acting-wise, and explosion at the end, where some of the other episodes have been really great in one direction and then loose in another direction. This one was the show, I think, hitting its prime. It wasn't quite as crazy as you had predicted last week. It wasn't all action. It was more like the last 10, 15 minutes of the episode got really crazy. But this, I think, was my favorite episode of the season.
I would definitely rank number 4 as being my favorite episode, then number 2, then number 1, and then at the bottom, I agree with you, episode 3 was my least favorite. This episode was actually, the next 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6, are directed by, I believe, Miles and a couple other people. So it's a team of 3 that actually directed this. They posted it on Twitter right here, as you guys can see in this picture. These are the 3 fantastic people that were responsible for directing these new episodes. Okay, episode 2, Two Tigers Subdue Dragons. I like the theme of every episode, more or less, especially the last 2 episodes, are titled much like an old school Shaw Brothers Hong Kong film, like 5 Deadly Venoms, Iron Shirt, The Man with One Arm, The One-Armed Samurai, kind of like those. So have you ever seen any of those old school movies, Phil?
I've seen a couple of them back, but many, many years, and I didn't know them all from name. I think we've all, whether we've seen tons of them or not, we've all had our friends or something where you go over to their house and they show you tons of awesome movies. My friend Brendan Olmstead used to watch a lot of those type of movies, so I'd watch them in the background at parties. I'd just be sitting there staring at what I'm watching, but I'm not necessarily knowing what the names of the things that you're saying. They don't ring necessarily bells.
Yeah, my friend Francisco Artiga introduced me to the Shaw Brothers movies, and we would buy all the bootlegs at the comic book festival that was, I think, every other month here in Boston at one of the hotels. It was pretty awesome, and then I got introduced into a lot of great Hong Kong films that I was like, wait a minute, there's more Hong Kong films than just Jackie Chan?
Yeah, exactly. But what was really cool about this episode, John, that I like just from because you were talking about tone, is that I think what you had, if you had any problems, your concerns or feelings from last week were that some of the fights, especially the one with Waldo, was a little silly and took you out of it. This episode's tone was so serious. I mean, it was still had its humor, lighthearted moments here and there, but for the most part, it was like a laser focused tone to this episode of getting to war, of desperation with the Baron and seeing who he really is, and MK's whole rise and being uncomfortable with his power and everything going on with him and Tilda was really cool too. It's a good episode.
Very, very weird tension. A whole lot better than the last episodes. I guess that really cheesy moment that they had, I can't remember what they said. It's like, we belong together, or we trust each other, or whatever it is. But yeah, I would have to say 2 great fights, which is the standard of the Into the Badlands formula, plus 2 great, awesome action moments. One being the first scene that because Into the Badlands starts right off. They do not fuck around when it comes to jumping right into the action. And of course, we're going to follow up down the episode with the other awesome, particularly weird kind of action that we had. Actually, no, 5. It was pretty. We had a lot of
action scenes. Some of them were short. Some of them were training montage type things. Some of them were just quick single interactions. We got a lot more of seeing MK's power in this episode up close and personal than we've seen anywhere before. We get obviously the butterfly ninja star thing is a big factor in this episode. We meet the other Baron, one of the other Barons, which is really cool, and get to see him and Zephyr, Jacoby, the Baron Jacoby and Regent Zephyr. We get to really see the 2 of them go into action and see how big of a force they are. And we also got to see not a different side of Sunny, but MK really breaking Sunny's heart and seeing how much faith he was putting in that kid for his future. And I love everything with the River King too, to add that different element to the area and to the enclosure of the Badlands. And again, what world do we live in when we have some?
God, yes. Oh my! The fact that we were just introduced with so many different things.
It wasn't that boat. Did you see the boat that the River King had? It was like a modern boat. It wasn't.
No, that's another thing. That's amazing. There was so many amazing things that happened in this episode. So many Easter eggs. So many just action. That's the reason why episode 4 is just such. It is the best episode they had thus far. So,
and John, I'm only saying this because he might possibly be listening, but no, I'm saying this for real because I didn't really love him in every other episode. This episode, the guy who gets my MVP is Ryder. I really liked him in this. I didn't like him, you know what I mean. I really thought he, as the actor, came into his part in this episode.
Absolutely.
And really started to feel more natural in that role and see his slimy little tactics that he was doing. And I like that they put a little bit more focus on the triangle between the Baron, not even a triangle, the square going on between the Baron and the Baroness, and Ryder and the girl that's banging both of them. It's Jade. It's a cool balance that they're setting up there, and I really liked him in this episode. And I like that he took his opportunity. He really stabbed his dad in the back, which I was waiting for that, but it really manifested itself really cool.
Yeah, shout out to Oliver Stark. A fantastic job, Oliver.
Again, I say this is, the Oliver Stark. That's such a Green Arrow name, but you should have been the Green Arrow.
Such a real name. Holy shit, that's so cool. Yeah. If you guys want to hear, or if you guys want to read a great interview that Oliver Stark did, go check out DC Ludlam's interview with him. Hopefully we're trying to actually get the audio from that interview, which would be really awesome for this channel. Shout out to DC Ludlam, one hell of a freelance writer here in the Los Angeles area. Shout out to him. Hopefully we're going to be able to put the link in the description below of his interview. Anyway, jumping into the show. Right away, we see Tilda running through the forest. She's covered in blood. And my first reaction was, you know how in like TV shows where they show something that it's the aftermath of what actually happens? Mm-hmm. It's almost like they go backwards, or kind of like a lot of other shows where it's like
Breaking Bad did a whole season like that, where we saw the plane crash, and then we see everything that pieces it back together. The Sopranos did that show exceptionally well with an episode watching Tony pass out in an early season, and you rewind time and you kind of see it. It's not a new form, but it's very effective, and it's used a lot nowadays in television.
Yeah, like one thing, The Walking Dead, when they had the corral of all the zombies, when they went back and forth from the black and white into the actual series, was really well shot. But this is not the case inside the episode. She came out running, and she was like, "Help me, help me!" And they all came out, and boom, like a sneak attack, and they all just. Pretty much the majority of all the Clippers, I'm pretty sure that the pretty much every every soldier who works for each Baron, let's just call them Clippers. I'm assuming that they're all Clippers.
They're called butterflies, the ones that work under her.
Under the Widow, yes. The Widow has the butterflies, but let's say, for instance, these particular Clippers, these are Jacobies.
So the Jippers or something.
The Jippers.
Whatever they're called. I bet they have their own name, but I know what you're saying. For the benefit of this, we'll just refer to everybody as Clippers. But that theoretically, we don't know for sure. That could just be what the Baron calls his dudes like that. Everybody else might have a different label for their particular Clipper class. If we're playing a video game, it's the Clipper class.
Yeah, just like do you know that there's a place in Texas called Sparta, and the people who live in there are called Spartans? That's really cool. Anyway,
when you walk in, the guy's staying right at the town's lines. You walk through, it's the guy's job. He gets paid $9.95 an hour to go, "This is Sparta."
We actually go there and yell it, and they're just so annoyed.
Yeah, they're so sick of that shit. It's like, again, pre-mentioned Breaking Bad. There's an episode of Breaking Bad, if you haven't seen it, where Walter White throws a pizza on someone's roof. It was an actual house that they used a location. People show up at that house and knock on the door. Can I take a picture? And they try to throw a pizza on these people's roofs. They're like, "Stop it!" So they eventually just put a plastic pizza on the roof to stop people from throwing pizzas up.
Dear God! All right, as soon as
So I'm sorry. So ultimately in this scene, it is she runs and stops the road, a passing truck. The Clipper guys get out, and eventually all these throwing stars come out of the woods and knock down most of these guys. And Tilda gives the clear as all the widows and her butterflies emerge. And it's a really awesome sneak attack. It's really cool.
And the beautiful widow comes out of the forest, as you said, with the butterflies, and they do what they need. They're slaughtering any extras, but they hold one particular Clipper itself to kind of like a sword to his throat. And he mentions, he goes, "My Baron will have your head." And on comes the one of the major stars of this episode, the infamous huge pickaxe that he had. And she walks up and she's like, "My head," and just decapitates him, which was insane.
I also want to bring up that it kind of gets grazed over in the episode. They don't spend time thinking about this, but I think it comes full circle at the end. This is a setup move to steal gold or make it look like they're stealing gold and killing all the men or something. She also pockets all this money here and puts herself in a position later to buy off a lot of people and fuck over the Baron later. So this is putting her in even better financial position too. She's robbing this person, blaming someone else for the robbery so she can spend the money on a bigger plan. So it's a really awesome plan by the widow.
Yeah, and also because the thing is, she's doing that, and she's lost a big I would say revenue, but property. She lost the oil field to the Baron when the siege happened in the previous episode. But as soon as the chop happened to the neck, we have the great opening scene. The intro, as far as the animation, is amazing. And of course, Mike Shinoda, great subtle music. That's perfect for this episode. That works great. But
It works well. The one thing I'll say, if I was somebody that was unfamiliar with the show and I just saw the open, I might think it was a Western. I think the music works really well. I like it. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but if you just play the open, I don't think I think it has a sort of, to me anyways, a Western, a gunslinger type tone. I think that they were kind of going for that, and to symbolize the Badlands. And it's almost like, you know, like cowboys or we're these places that people are controlling. And but yeah, it could be mildly confusing. I've read a few people complaining about the theme.
Yeah, confusing. You know what? There's a very popular movie from Japan called Sukiyaki Django, which is actually a samurai movie in a Western setting that actually was co-produced by Quentin Tarantino, which is very interesting. If you guys have never seen it, try to see if you can go check it out. At least go see the trailer on YouTube. It's a very good movie. A lot of cool action scenes. Okay, once we actually open into the episode, we see Sunny sparring with MK, and they're doing a lot of I believe that the way they're actually fighting, we're going to see a lot more of this or another scene down the way, but they're practicing Wing Chun, which is kind of like, it's a very much, it was created by Ip Man, who actually taught Bruce Lee when he was young. So it's one of the building blocks of Jeet Kune Do that Bruce Lee created.
Is this the kind of form that they eventually got upset about Bruce Lee for teaching?
Yes,
people?
It is. Yeah, because it's a sacred thing, primarily only taught to the Chinese, but it's pretty much like a block hit, back.
Thank you, dragging the Bruce Lee story for that.
Yes, there are certain subtle differences as far as the
right, and then
of the movie, yeah.
And then he ended up somewhat, I don't know how factual the story is, but obviously in the movie, if people haven't seen it or the reality of it, he ended up being attacked and challenged to a fight by the head of the boards of the Jeet Kune Do, and he beat the guy, but then the guy attacked him after the fight and broke his back, and he was in the hospital for a while, and that's when he started to form his own, the way of the intercepting fist, be like water Jeet Kune Do.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I can talk about Bruce Lee, you know?
Correction. He came there because he was practicing Wing Chun, and that's when he developed the way of the intercepting fist, which is Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do happened after.
Right, happened after it. He used the time when he was injured after that fight and after the whole problems he had with the board to formulate. That's where the movie thing, I think, messes with reality. It
messes around because there are
traumatize it and make it seem like he was in the cast for this whole time and deal with all this emotional stuff.
Yeah, but that movie is still a good movie itself.
Yeah, no, it's a well put together, especially for that age of a biopic. Yeah. I think biopics are a lot better, a lot better these days. And for the age, for the early 90s, late 80s, I forget when it came out, it was good for the time, and especially seeing that kind of action. The fights were good too for what American audience were seeing at the time.
During the sparring session between Sunny and MK pulls out this crazy move where he goes, and I guess he almost gets Sunny, and Sunny goes,
"You're impressed, huh?"
Yeah, no, he's like, "How did you learn it? Where did you learn that?" "I don't know. It just became second nature." Well, and then Sunny kind of gets mad. He's like, "Well, that's far too advanced for you. You need to step off that. You need to slow your roll." It's almost like in the Street Fighter Assassin's Fist movie where Ken actually gets hold of the Dark Hado manual, and he starts doing Dark Hado, and then pretty much his Shusho gets very mad because he's doing that and he's way ahead of schedule and something you don't want to get involved with. But anyway,
and also Sunny makes a point to tell him that some of his moves are predictable, and he kind of knocks him down to prove a point, to say you have to learn to make the unexpected move.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and now Baron Quinn approaches Sunny. And he's got some pretty badass sunglasses. I wish I had some of those. Those are pretty awesome.
You can actually probably pull off a Baron Quinn cosplay pretty well if you put some time into it. Yeah, I could see it.
Speaking of the way that Baron looks, he looks like an evil Abraham Lincoln. Martin Silkus plays a very good, like I could picture him playing Lincoln. Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if sometimes, as an actor, you want a starting point as an actor. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of uses Abraham Lincoln as a starting point, because I definitely see what you're saying. I definitely see his mannerisms and the way he talks. It's a definite politician, obviously, and he's using the influence of old-timey Southern politics. I don't know politics, sonny.
Well, I'll say.
Quinn finds them, and Sunny tells MK to get the fuck away. And
I need you, but
get the hell away. And Quinn tells Sunny and tells him that Jacoby is getting the numbers, and in that he wants to sort of meet him and talk about the situation, about the stolen gold, and that all the other barons are still pissed off at him that he attacked the widow, and he's like, don't they fucking know? The widow attacked me first. What's their problem?
Yeah, it's something because they already have at odds because he is separated from the belief that the widow is actually a baron. Mm-hmm. The fact that they recognized her as a baron before he's the only person holding out on that for a lack of disrespect.
Do you think the baron, and I think by the end of this episode, I think he even starts thinking, do you think the baron in general made a mistake by not just accepting her at one point in time? Do you think he pushed the issue too much? Because he was in the apple cart. He was the most powerful baron. Should he have really fucked with things? Should he have wasted his time with this situation?
Well, it's all about your opinion, much like Kyle in South Park when he was probably the only person that who said that Caitlyn Jenner is not a hero, and then he got shit for it. So I can bring up that because I love South Park.
Yeah, and I guess you're right in the sense that Baron Quinn, he doesn't just think he is Baron of his particular area, his particular enclosure. He thinks he is Baron of the Badlands. So it's when you have that much power. Oh no, that's not how you get power. That she took power behind closed doors. She's not a real baron. She's not this. She's not that. So he's acting kind of high and mighty about it and underestimating her. So I guess it makes sense.
Yep. Next scene, it shows the sanctuary where the widow and her butterflies escape to, and here's the first Easter egg.
Snow globes.
What's up?
Oh no, Tilda finds a snow globe.
Oh, the snow globe. Yeah, that's the weird.
Let me set up because I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. So basically, they eventually find a record and they put a record on the record player and they all start dancing. I think John's going to give us some information about the record. And it's just a really funny, awesome scene where you can see the girls really get to act like girls for a second. And I could not stop smiling in the scene. And one thing before that just occurred to me because I feel like a dumbass. When Tilda was introduced as as Baron Widow's daughter, I just expected that she really was her daughter. It didn't occur to me that that's what she calls all of her girls. And did it get established in this episode that are all those girls actually her daughters, or are all those girls just her higher ups that she's like, you are all my daughters? I couldn't tell.
I would have to say that if Tilda is not her real daughter, then she saved her. She would be the equivalent of Sunny to the Baroness.
Right. That's what I see. And that's what I'm guessing, that these people are so close that she calls them her daughters. I got the vibe, and I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. I usually am. But I got the vibe that she rescued Tilda from a situation. She starts talking about that later with that guy you were stuck with, or your father. So she probably, I'm guessing, and I'm suppositioning this a little bit, that she protects all these girls from dangerous situations and kills people that were fucking with them. And now they're all loyal to her to the death. And they call her Mummy. In the similar way on Orange is the New Black, they all call Captain Janeway Mummy because she protects them in prison. Yeah, they are, you're my mummy. You're my mummy, mummy.
Have you seen my mummy?
So tell us about that song, Joe. What was it? Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, John.
You called me Joe, huh?
I know I did. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
First Easter egg.
At least I didn't call you Matt.
First Easter egg of the episode is the song that's actually played. It sounds very eerily familiar to a 90s pop song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely one thing that actually is not, it's very out of the ordinary because it's weird, because knowing that this is kind of like a Sukiyaki Django kind of Badlands where everything is very colonial. You have cars, of course, yes. No more guns, swords, but you have x-rays. And you have a song that pretty much sounds like pop music. And it's crazy. And I'm not sure what they're saying or if this actually is an Easter egg, because I'm pretty sure you don't see, no one really has music. And the first music that they actually played during the episode that the Baron Quinn played was very much fitting to that
scene,
that area, that world itself. And it makes you think, well, what's really going on? So yeah, and of course, following that, the Baroness grabs that and smashes it even though she probably remembers something, or the fact that because she asked
you love us, by the way, John, because we're giving her the respect she deserves. We keep calling her Baroness, not just the widow. We're giving her the respect she fucking deserves.
I love the widow.
Oh, she's awesome. I love this. She came in and Hulk smashed this shit. I agree with you, John. It kind of reminded me of It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. Ooh. It takes two to make it outside. It totally reminded me of that like 90s sort of dance thing. And like you're saying, it totally fucks with to use the snow globe that's earlier in the scene. It's like we're stuck in that snow globe in it, and they shake it around like we could be anywhere. We could be anywhere. We could be anywhere. It's just really cool. I cannot. And then she gets pissed off. Tilda's like, listen, fuck you. No one's coming. Everything's been clean. We're having fun. Relax. And the widow pulls Tilda aside and wants to know what's on her mind. Tilda thinks the widow's trying to start a war. The widow says Tilda should have more faith and reminds her of how she suffered so maybe it is her daughter, because how she suffered at the hands of the widow's husband.
Okay. All right. So that kind of straightens it out. And also she talks about how the fact that she framed Quinn for the robbery of the transport of the gold. So she elaborates on that, and she says that we're doing this, and then she mentions the fact that she's protecting all the daughters from people that may take advantage of her, either by power or sexual as far as, because the thing is, a lot of the Clippers and everything, I would have to say that more or less kind of like nomads, or kind of like a lot of like almost like Vikings.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, John. Definitely a Viking sort of vibe. And also she makes sure she illustrates to her daughter the number one rule of The Godfather that you should always learn. Do not argue with me in front of the other butterflies. If you have shit to say to me, say it to me behind closed doors, but in front of the other girls, don't talk back to me, because you'll put me in an uncomfortable position. So she makes sure.
You know, it's funny also, I kind of think about it, it's almost like Scarface. Don't fuck with me, Tony. You don't fuck with me.
You don't fuck with me, Tony.
Here, I got a question for you. What do you think the Baroness was like before she became the Baroness?
I wonder if she married the Baroness that she ended up taking over for, the Baron she ended up taking over for, just to seize power, or he did something, he made these choices, because she refers to him here, the things my husband did to you. Did he do a few things to make her go, no, fuck this guy? I tend to think the latter. I think that she probably was a lot like Lydia at one point in time, and would ultimately take a lot of what her husband would do, but it came to some sort of head, and probably better trained from a fighting standpoint, probably has a little bit more of a tactical mind just by nature. Maybe she grew up around a strong father or strong tactical influence on her life, or mother, who knows. And so I would say she probably was someone that tried to do the right thing, be a good wife, and then just couldn't take it anymore and decided to seize power.
Now, do you think that if Lydia does pull all her cards together and actually take an advance to try to take over, do you think that Lydia will become the next widow?
No, because I don't think she has the skills necessary to do that. I think somewhere along the way, the widow became a good fighter. We haven't established at all that Lydia has any bloodthirsty heart skills. In fact, in this episode strayed me away from my theory that I think Lydia is going to cause big problems. I think now Ryder's probably going to kill her in some sort of way. I think Ryder's ending up taking the role that I thought that she was going to take in some way. I thought initially she was going to connect with the widow and become part of that evil alliance that we see, so to speak. And to me now it's Ryder, not her, and she seems to just be kind of playing the role and just accepting her fate right now.
True. All right, next scene we jump to. Here's the explanation. You're going to be able to see the wooden dummy that Wing Chun practitioners use on. Big arms coming out right here, and you see MK practicing without a shirt on, doing right here. And then Sunny is watching, but then MK pulls out a knife out of his pocket, and he's going to cut himself, more or less like he's going to try to see if he can unleash the power and see what he can do.
Unleash the beast!
Unleash the beast! Do the do! But then he decides not to, and he puts away the knife.
Yeah, he's a pussy. He can't do it. He's like, fuck this. I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't think he's a pussy and didn't want to cut himself. I think he's afraid of that power.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's something that he can't control. He doesn't know it. It's not him when he actually controls.
It was a mild blue ball scene just because it was one of those things that you knew he wasn't going to do it just from the lead up to it, because it gave you the bump, 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 like the heavy music climax building, and then da da da, and then they just womp womp
Womp, womp, womp. A big old fart. Okay, that's a really short scene.
It is really short.
Jumping back over to the fort inside the mansion, where tons of food laid upon the table.
Jade learns about blood oranges.
Yes, exactly. Blood oranges actually are medicinal fruit. I don't know if that's bullshit or not, but it is a very rare fruit.
A medicinal fruit. It has some healing properties above that of normal oranges.
Yeah, let me see.
Google it. I'll talk about the scene. You Google blood orange. So okay, so Lydia explains what the blood orange is to Jade. It's a rare fruit that will be a gift for the other barons at Jade's wedding. Jade doesn't see why they should honor rivals. We should just see them dead. And Jade suggests that Lydia should think of them as a daughter or mother instead of rivals to help them through this new power dynamic. Lydia says, if I was Jade's mother, I'd suggest something to you. And Jade interrupts her and starts acting like she's going to say, I'm really upset that you're fucking my husband. And she kind of makes this big deal to be like, oh, I know you're really upset. And she's like, no, dear. I'm not upset you're fucking my husband. But if I give you some motherly advice, it wouldn't be fucking my husband and my son at the same time. That's not very bright, dumbass. It was a really, really awesome scene between the two of them where Lydia basically bitch slaps this girl. It goes, listen, everybody knows you're banging both of them. No one, you're not fooling anybody.
Off.
Yeah, knock that off. That's just bad.
Okay, the medicinal properties of blood oranges are as follows. It's not a magic cure-all fruit, but blood oranges contain the same super antioxidant as blueberries.
Ooh, okay.
The antioxidant capacity of anthocyanins was found to be even stronger than that of Trollocs.
Now think about that from, it's easy to get lost in this type of stuff and not try to conceptualize thinking about being alive at a different period of time. But think about a time where doctors were few and far between and people lived in villages and stuff like that. You can imagine that fruits like blueberries and blood oranges and things like that were so magical. It's why you can tell why mysticism was believed on a different level, because there you couldn't explain as many things with science, and like you'd think, oh my goodness, a blood orange has magic powers because it can heal me from this cold that nothing else can heal me from.
I just saw something that's very, very interesting. The thing is, says anthocyanins in blood oranges will make you invincible.
Really? Like Bruce Willis from that movie Invincible?
Yes, exactly.
Unbreakable. I'm sorry, Unbreakable.
Yes, but anyway, it may protect from cancer and is also supercharged with vitamin C.
Oh, anyway, Jesus. Give me some fucking blood oranges. Shit.
Jade actually says something really douchey, and then I think to Lydia when she's like, well, I don't have a mother and you don't have a daughter, so let's have that relationship. And that's when she talks about, well, maybe you should be fucking two people.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be fucking two people at once. You want me to be your mother, you fucking dumbass? And then again, I just love how much she gives off the vibe like, I'm so sorry I'm fucking your husband. And Lydia, honestly, that element of it couldn't give two fuck shits about that. She's just like,
listen, bitch.
I don't care. I don't want to bang my husband. Do you get that? He's a sick fuck. You don't want to bang him. Trust me. He gets weird after the first year. Once you get married, he pulls out the stuff that he locks you in the closet. I wouldn't trust the Baron in bed. He's a dirty motherfucker.
Don't take it personal that I was fucking your husband while your son was dying in a bed.
Yeah, hope you don't mind. No, and she's like, I'm okay with that. I don't mind that part. I kind of enjoy the audio because we don't have radios here, so it's like porn. Okay, so Sunny eventually, we get Vale and the Baron, a scene between Vale and the Baron in the next scene. She suggests a treatment, and he goes, what, you want to use poison to cure me? And Quinn has a condition, he has a tumor, and she wants to give him some herb concoction or some shit, some poison to slow down the tumor. It can't save him, but it possibly could give him a lot more years, but it will make him very, very weak for a while.
That's interesting because you almost saw real hope inside the Baron Quinn's eyes.
For a second there. And you almost also saw regret when she says the thing about, oh, I'm just an amateur at this. My dad was the master. Too bad he's not around. Quinn lies, but you can see within the look like
OJ, I will find the killer.
Yeah, I will find the killer. But if I was to find the killer, I think it would probably have been an angry Baron. Maybe when
Lincoln.
When do you think Sunny? We'll get to this a little bit later, but it's worth just mentioning now. Do you think Sunny is doing the right thing, not telling Vale that the Baron killed her parents?
I think that he's doing that to protect her, and I think that may come to bite him on the ass.
It's a big giant fucking mosquito bite on his fucking little ass. It's coming.
It's a bit crazy when it comes down to that. But okay, we're following it up with the next scene where Sunny and MK are actually on a motorcycle going outside the fort. And there is no known reason why they're doing it until he follows up and stops. Why are we here? Well,
great fucking scene. Great fucking scene.
He wants to separate himself. He wants to do it out of prying eyes. He doesn't want anybody to see exactly what he's going to do. He wonders what? He goes, I want you to show me my power. And he goes, you're going to cut me, aren't you? And, of course, he goes and attacks him. There's a slice. MK falls to the ground, looks up. Boom, black eyes. But this is amazing. It's almost like One Punch Man. He was just like, boom, and it just takes out Sunny and just knocks him the hell out. I was like the pure Debo move when he just
it was like, let me demonstrate with the action figures. It was like he goes just one shot, boom, back. Oh, such an awesome moment.
It was a critical hit.
But
here's the one thing that I noticed, that MK may be strong, but he is worthless inside a battle with multiple nomads or clippers or bad guys, because he's only good for one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as he makes his critical hit, down he goes. He's out. He's out for the count. And it looks like he's not like down and gets back up. He's pretty much knocked the hell out. He shared the same kind of unconscious systems as far as boom, they're both out for the count. It's almost like, when two boxers are down on the ground and they're both down, they're like, what's going on? First one to get up wins.
Like the end of, spoiler alert, like the end of Rocky 2.
Exactly, yes.
They both knock each other out. And also, just to proceed further down that point that you were saying, Sunny wakes up before him. Sunny gets knocked through a fucking brick wall, and he gets up before MK. Yeah, I win. He won. He won the title. The new champ. Yo, Adrian, I did it. So Sunny wakes up MK, and he tells Sunny that he doesn't remember anything after he got cut. It's like, I'm a different person. Sunny tells him, you're not a different person. You just need to focus, to face this other side and find the opposite force. Sunny tells him to focus on something pure. But then MK turns to him and he's like, what the fuck's pure? Like, what do you want me to think about?
Clear? What are you, a Scientologist?
Anyway, whatever. Ultimately, it ends up being vagina.
Yes, exactly. And pretty much exactly. As we go down the road, and you'll see that. But Sunny actually, along with his Tai Chi and along with the different martial arts he does, he's the embodiment of Hong Kong films. He's definitely one of the greatest ambassadors on TV in regards to martial arts, because not only is he showing Wing Chun, he's showing Tai Chi sword fighting, he's actually practicing Qigong. He's also displaying and trying to explain the elements of the yin and the yang theory, where he can't be himself. He's like, I want you to be yourself, or I want you to control it, but you can't control it. You need to focus. And when that moment comes, you need to focus on that pure thought.
100%. And ultimately, we're going to get to it, but that's how he ends up controlling it later on. And so Sunny knows the path to get him there. It's just he doesn't know what the trigger is yet.
And we don't know where Sunny is actually from. Are there more people like Sunny? Is this does he come from an Asian community? Does he come from a smaller village where a lot of people are similar to this, very much like this? Much like when in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when they show up into the particular village, not the movie, but the cartoon, where they show.
I do want to mention one thing that he gets easily overlooked because we say it in the first episode, and then in this scene, I also just noticed how beautiful the fucking grass looks in this show. I know that seems like a trivial thing, but I've never seen a show where next to the fucking Sound of Music at the end when they're all dancing in the fields, that looks as good as when they're shooting the grass on this show. It's just so.
You know why?
Why is that?
It's because that Scottish guy from that commercial, he takes care of all the lawns.
He takes care of all the lawns. He protects him and groundskeeper Willie are both doing it.
Exactly. You have to have Scottish people. They know lawns. Okay.
Yeah, they made fucking golf. Of course they did. I mean, say what you want about golf.
Fadeds. And also NASCAR is a Canadian sport.
Yep, it's good.
And my favorite NASCAR driver is Tom Cruise.
And one quick thing on that, if you have it and you're looking to laugh your ass off, YouTube Robin Williams Scottish golf origin, and he has a really funny bit about it.
Okay, since you pointed out earlier on in this show, you talked about how Ryder created such a large. He was able to, Oliver Stark and his character Ryder were able to actually expand and show his chops, like actually be able to act and develop his character. And I'm going to let you take away with this one because this was a very important scene.
Okay, so the head of Quinn's captured clipper is sent back to him with a message supposedly written by one of the other barons claiming he was caught robbing a gold transport. Now, Ryder buys the play, thinks that oh my God, Jacoby did this and we need to fight back. We need to attack him. And he gets really aggressive about it. But Quinn sees that it's all just bullshit and it's all just kind of a ruse by the widow. Quinn wants Ryder to ride out there and face it all. And Ryder's like, listen, what the fuck? What are you trying to do? This isn't what I want to do. This isn't what a king does. And Quinn goes right at him. And this is just such a believable relationship between the two of them. He plays this son that wants, but is still entitled at the same time so fucking well. And the parallel of this, because he's not an idiot, but he is so by nature entitled to, because of the way his mother raised him. I see so much Joffrey in him on some level, but he's not as developed. Joffrey, Game of Thrones, if someone hasn't watched that. Just someone that's entitled, that parents never disciplined them, so they have this laser focus. And the actor, just like Jack Gleason on Game of Thrones, this actor, Oliver Stark, plays it so fucking well, and the duplicitous nature of him. And he just argues back and forth, and then quickly it shifts over, and the Baron just owns him by going, this, I give you my hand and you slap it the fuck away. What is this about? Are you pissed off that I'm fucking your ex-girlfriend? Is that what this is about? Get over it. Are you pissed off that my hands are all over her? Are you pissed off that my hands are all up in her, that she is in all kinds of positions with me? Are you pissed off, Ryder? Are you, motherfucker?
He also says one of the creepiest things.
It's so creepy the way he does that to him, John. It's so creepy.
The fact that she tastes well.
Yeah, that's why I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot what the line was. And yeah, it ultimately goes, yeah, she's nothing. She's nothing like or he says, are you mad that she's nothing like my mom? And she's nothing like your mother, especially the way she tastes. That's what the line is.
There we go. Yeah, a fresh taste.
A fresh taste. So it's a really great scene between father and son, seeing the wanting that Oliver Stark is playing there and also playing the heartbreaking. And the Baron just, you can't help but tell that the Baron knows he's dying and doesn't care. But either way, the Baron's going to enjoy fucking with his son to the last moment because he thinks this kid's a big fucking disappointment to him. He's a big fucking disappointment. Similar to, I do a lot of comparisons, but similar to the way Tony Soprano eventually looks at AJ Soprano. You were just a big fucking disappointment to me, fucker.
As Baron's dying, he's going to be like John Constantine or Keanu Reeves from the he's gonna be like, fuck
you. Yeah, just one more fuck. Lydia, I'm sorry, I loved you. Sunny, I forgive you for everything you wronged and wanting to escape the Badlands. I set you free. Ryder, go fuck yourself. But I just think these are two of the better actor, like everyone's awesome on this show, but these two are acting their balls off in this scene, and it's really, really good stuff. I can't say this was the senior that made me go fucking I love Ryder in this episode. That you're right to have me rant on this one because this was the scene I just circled. There's so many smiley faces on my notes right here. It is just really good stuff.
Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face,
smiley face, smiley face. Copy paste 10 smiley faces.
Here's a quick tension portion of the actual episode is the next scene is Vale and MK, and first shot panning up is Vale again working on a cog, and I guess the interaction between MK and of course the same stereotypical, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And then he's pretty much interacting. So were you able to read exactly what's going on with the book? And it's Sunny walks in, and then Sunny pretty much feels like he's been slapped in the face.
Didn't you love this though, John? Because we're complaining about how MK never fucking learns, that Sunny called him out on it. It wasn't, they didn't just graze over that. They're like, Sunny's like, you fucking stole that book again. You little fucking shit.
My room. How dare you?
Yeah,
pretty much. Also, here's one quick thing that really wasn't mentioned. I think it was mentioned once during the episode, but I made sure I took notes. This particular episode is 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after the last episode, episode 3. So I was like, oh, wow, that's really interesting because there's a time lapse. It's not like, you know, a few days. You actually get to see exactly what's going on. And Vale explains that she's been helping MK for maybe a month, maybe. I don't know.
There's one quick thing before we go past it, that MK says that, yeah, I'm trying to get the book translated because I'm hoping that will find us a way out of the Badlands. To which Sunny replies, what the fuck, dude? You said you knew a way out of the Badlands. Do you realize what I'm betting on you? And you're fucking me here, dude. What the hell? You said you knew a way out. And then MK's like, well, I didn't ever said specifically I knew a way out. I just didn't disagree with you when you're saying. And then MK just leaves, and Sunny's pissed off at MK right now.
Yeah, it's the first time we actually see Sunny really mad at a particular person that's not a Clipper.
Or someone trying to kill him.
Exactly. And it's almost like, you know, it's funny. That whole interaction reminds me of Eugene and Abraham.
A little bit.
Yeah, when it's like, oh, I thought you knew.
I almost expected Sunny to hit him, but he's like, oh, if I make this kid bleed, this is going to be a bad situation.
That's amazing. So yeah, then we cut to commercial break.
No, but before we get there, Sunny says Quinn is going insane and he's leading them into the Badlands, into war. Vale says it's not that he's going insane, it's that he has a tumor in his brain and she knows about it because she's treating him. She doesn't have any choice. Sunny said, and then she goes, the only thing I can do now is either help him or make him die quicker. Would that help? And Sunny goes, if Quinn dies, all the other Barons will come and get us and be at our door. So we can't fucking do that. We can't kill him either.
I tweeted out two particular very funny things that got retweeted by, I think, Al and Oliver Stark. The first one was when the Baron was, oh, no, it didn't happen. But this particular moment, I said, I go, kill the Baron and have all the other Barons storm the fort, or keep the Baron alive and not be able to escape and leave. It's a no-win scenario.
We're in the Kobayashi Maru. No win.
And I wanted to actually at you, but I totally forgot because I know that you would have enjoyed that joke.
Nice.
So, as we progress, Ryder meeting with the other Barons, Regent and Men. Ryder plans another scheme with them. Of course, when I say the other Barons, Regent and Men, he's meeting up inside the forest for that parlay meeting, but it's kind of like a precursor. But he's telling Zephyr that the Baron and the Clippers in the fort had nothing to do with the stealing of the gold, and he's trying to see if he can work the actual. It's like, okay, can we meet to an understanding and maybe meet hopefully at a terms in a certain place.
Yeah, we kind of grazed over it earlier. The Baron says to Ryder in that scene between them, or I grazed over it in that scene. The Baron says, I want you to go there, and wherever they say we're going to meet, make them meet closer.
Exactly.
As just sort of be a hard ass and to make it as close to our location as possible.
We want to piss him off more. And also before he's like, okay, we're going to do that. But
plus, if you show weakness shows guilt. So that's kind of the Barons thinking about that just from a leadership standpoint. If you demand in that situation, it shows that you have nothing to hide and nothing to be sorry for. So it's a mission of guilt if you say, we'll do anything you want. We just want to make this right. You have to keep some of your tough guys going on.
Yeah, big boy pants.
That's one of those things that that Ryder doesn't get, that the Baron's on next level leadership stuff. The Baron understands that even if he was wrong, he can't admit he's wrong. He has to still show power and say mistakes happen. It's not my fault.
Like any big corporation is going to give that what do you call it?
That impression or that fault, that perspective or whatever.
They're going to try to spin it in a certain way where it's not going to look like they're at fault. But also, Ryder, when he finishes that, he's also like, wait, I also have terms that I want to parse my plan. So now Ryder's like, okay, cool, like that said, but well, maybe I should do something else. It's almost like he put his foot in his mouth. He's like, I did what my dad told me to do, but maybe I should scheme against my father too.
You haven't seen my whole plan. It's just, it is. It's a little moment where he just turns, he starts twirling his mustache and be like, and it's just a cool heel turn moment where
very much like a heel, yeah.
Because you knew he was thinking it from, it works because they didn't pluck it out of nowhere. They've been establishing this since almost the first episode that the Baron doesn't have respect for him and the Baron treats Sunny more like a Sunshine, more like a son than he does Ryder. So they've established this, and again, they made it seem like he had already betrayed the Baron by kind of setting into motion a plan with his mother for him to be Baron, and now that she's not supporting him, he's moving on to anywhere and any people that can help him with his cause, and it makes me go, good job. I think the Baron, on some warped fucking level, even though he'd kill him for this, would be like, I'm gonna kill you, but I finally have respect for you for trying.
Yeah. Speaking of Sunshine, the next scene.
Yeah, that's why I said, hello, Sunshine.
Shows Sunny and Wheels.
Hello, Sunshine. But Lieutenant Dan, you don't have no legs.
Lieutenant Dan. They're approaching and they're actually talking about actually trying to get out. He's bringing up the same damn discussion. But Waldo actually talks about a certain.
It's so hard calling a guy Waldo seriously, isn't it? Like I don't want to rag on the show, but did you really need to call him Waldo?
I love the actor, but Waldo, and I just much rather it'd be funny if I just call him Wheels, the same name from America.
I think you should do that because ultimately, or Lieutenant Waldo or something. It's just I can't help it. This is my own problem, not the world's problem. But I think because of the generation I grew up, I could never see any character or meet anybody with the name Waldo without thinking, "Oh, where's Waldo?" I'm just so, and I might be dating myself. If anyone hasn't heard of Where's Waldo, Google it. But it was these books that were very popular, so I'm the name Waldo synonymous. So every time that someone says Waldo, I go, oh, where's the striped shirt and the hat and the glasses?
Okay, so here's one option that Waldo actually here's the next Easter egg for the episode. Okay, Waldo explains that he talks about, well, he pretty much brings up this crazy notion where he's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna give something to you. And have you ever heard of the River King? Oh yeah, the River King. But he pulls out.
Question, John, is this the first time we've heard of the River King's name on the show? Am I misremembering?
No, this is a completely new character that Waldo. I almost called him the Waldo. Waldo.
And I almost want to call the River King the River Troll.
The River Troll. He pulls out this little thing, and here's the thing that again. Like the record, I'm like, now is this a alternate dimension? Is this like Earth 2? Is this world straight ahead?
Is Harrison Wells coming out? What's happening?
Harrison Wells. But I swear to God, Into the Badlands, if this turns out to be the Village from M. Night Shyamalan, I'm gonna be so damn disappointed in you. But it's an action figure. It's a green guy, like a green soldier holding a gun over his head. He's doing that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, and apparently this is the key, like almost like it
was almost Matrixy at a moment. Like, this is the key that you get. What is you have to find the key maker or something. It's a Ninja Turtle toy.
Exactly.
Give this to the man and he'll know Cowabunga is the key word.
Yeah. But that's for you. That's your way out. But I totally forgot. Before that happens, he's talking about how he's trying to get out. And he's like, oh, but she's pregnant. And then Waldo explains that he's like, you don't think that I have tons of kids running around this establishment?
Yeah, every Clipper does.
Every Clipper does. And he goes, well, the only thing. And he goes, oh, love. You fell in love. Damn it. Love, the killer of all Clippers. You're totally you done fucked up now. You got that
You done fucked up now. It's true.
You're totally screwed now. You know,
Right.
shotgun wedding. You got a girl pregnant now. Do you think that? No, I don't know. I was just about to bring up child support inside the Badlands, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Is there in the Badlands social services organization?
Exactly. You have to pay one green man.
Oh, sorry about that.
But yeah, it's really weird that the Green Soldier came up, and it's very interesting how that's a key totem for the River King. And
now, what I'm wondering, especially when we get into the scene later with him, I'm wondering if that was just something that the River King gave to Waldo because Waldo did him a favor as just a symbol, or is it in the way my mind wrapped around it was this, just because this is how my mind works, is that the River King loves army men. Army men are really tough to come by in the Badlands because you can't get things from the outside shipped in, and he was really into army men when he was a child. So Waldo has the last piece to the set that the River King wants, and he has it as a thing over him, and he goes, I'll give this to you one day for a favor, yada yada yada. I mean, most likely it's the opposite. It's that he gave him this is good for one favor.
I took this from your toy chest,
right, or something. But I like to think about it more that it's he's a collector, that the River King is a collector and needs this last piece to finish his World War V set.
No, I totally agree with that. That's an actual very interesting thing that's actually going on. Okay, now, do you want me to take this moment, or
go for it?
Okay, here's the very weird, and I actually tweeted to Oliver Stark about this, and he favorited that tweet because it was pretty much directed toward him in a hashtag. But okay, here's a situation where it's an interaction between Ryder and Jade. And he's like, hey, and she's like, you should not be here, and blah, 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 blah. You haven't seen me in nights, and you haven't come by my bedside. And
this was where they give the clues to what you were talking about earlier. It's the only time thing I think we get that she says, I haven't seen you in my room in weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So it actually puts together. I think that's actually where I took, 2 weeks. Interesting. Time flies by. So it's probably every 2 weeks, every 1 week, every episode as time progress, or it could be any indeterminate time. But as he's talking about and other different things, and he's trying to say like, oh, you got to be with here, and she's like, no, I'm marrying your father, and blah 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 blah, and we can't be together. It's over. Hashtag friend zone. He totally dig that. But here's the one thing: before the actual scene ends up, Ryder actually explains that Lydia was not his first wife. Baron actually had a lot of wives, and Jade will be, I think I'm right, Jade will be the 5th wife for the Baron. Lydia was the 4th. Beatrice was the 3rd.
And Beatrice died of mysterious causes.
And no one knows exactly what happened. It's very interesting how I think it's either Jade was the 4th, Lydia was the 3rd, Beatrice was the 2nd, and then they don't really talk about the 1st wife of the Baron.
Which was probably the only one he actually loved. So it's really a fun scene in the sense that I love how Ryder switches this around, because it's one of those moments, and it's done really well for a dramatic effect, that she thinks she has hand. She thinks she has the upper hand in this situation, and she like plays it off like really big, like that, like I'm in complete control of the situation. And then he just turns it around, where you think you can handle my mother?
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch. And just the look he gives, exactly, John, the look he gives on his face is just turns, it's like the Sly Stallone hat gets turned around. Bitch, you're gonna die. You don't know who you're fucking with. I could have protected you from her, but no, okay, fine. You want to be on your own? You dead. I'm looking at a dead woman. I was just watching The Untouchables last night when Sean Connery beats up the cop that's on the take. He's like, I'm looking at a dead man, Jimmy. I'm looking at a dead bitch right there.
Use it. No, it's like, go ahead. Get those crow's feet. A little bit of wrinkles. You're going to die, bitch.
You're going to die, girl. You're going to die. And for whatever it's worth, and I know this is going to be, I understand Ryder's perspective, and I'm not, people could say I'm being sexist here, but Ryder and her were lovers since they were kids. If my dad or my stepdad started fucking a girl, I would always try to fuck her. So I can't really blame myself for trying in that situation. The Baron takes whatever he wants in this world. She is not like knowingly sleeping with both of them, making a conscious decision. She could say right or no, like she does here at any point in time. This proves that Ryder's never forced himself on her, and we know the Baron hasn't, that it's decisions that this girl makes. And she makes the decision right here to say no more Ryder. She could have done that at any point in time. And instead, she just chose to bang them both. So that shows what kind of person we're dealing with here.
Exactly. And it also shows the long-lived.
And I would say the same thing if she was a guy or a guy. When you make your own choice in this situation, I don't think Ryder is not at fault in the situation completely, but I do think it's hard to blame someone it's your first love, childhood love, boy or girl. And you can say the same thing about her, but she specifically casts him out here because he's not going to be Baron anymore. She only cares about, she's a power-hungry person.
She loves bad boys. And it comes down to the
into the bad boys.
The love theory where girls don't like the nice guy who doesn't put himself, try to take advantage of her. She loves the bad boys. Right.
And which is ultimately why he does what he does, why he makes the final decision he does at the end here to try to be like, okay, I'm going to be Baron and now she will be mine.
I'll be the Baron and I'm going to fuck you.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah, Ryder, it's not going to work out.
I'm sorry, Ryder. I'm sorry, Oliver.
I'm sorry, buddy. I love your performance. You're really fucking awesome. And like, if you ever want to be on the show, either of our show, we'd love to have you. But
maybe you could just record something really quick, like, "Hi, this is Oliver Stark, and you're watching Talking Bad Lands
with John Riley and Phil the Issues Guy." That would be perfect. Yeah. That'd be perfect. That's simple. That's
BroHawkRiley@gmail.com.
Yeah. Just send that to us. Don't worry about it. And we will accept that as bribes. Then every show we will come out here and be like, "Oh, Ryder is the smartest guy out there. He's making all the best decisions, man."
If you do that, I will put a picture, your headshot, right there, like featured, like pretty much right in front of the Toby mask.
We have issued the challenge. We'll leave it there. Okay, so Ryder says, "What do you think happened to Quinn's second wife?" "Oh, I thought she died." "You have natural causes, like being pushed down a flight of stairs, showgirl style. Like, fuck you, bitch."
Okay, and also the next scene, it goes to the commercial. We come back, and Jade
is on the hunt
and finds the handmaiden. This is the first time we actually see the handmaiden.
I think her name is Marie or Mari.
Mari, okay. I did not know that. Thank you very much, Phil. Jade and Marie, or Mary.
It's spelled M-A-R-I, so Mari.
It's a very weird.
And we don't care about red shirt number 6. I mean, we don't really care about her.
Indiscriminate.
Yeah, indiscriminate person number 2.
And she was Beatrice's handmaid, and the fact that she's talking about how, do you know how she died? And she's kind of like forthcoming, and she's talking about how the Baron, around the time that Beatrice died, the Baron was inside a certain kind of field where there was a kind of like
monk's hood, it's called.
Yes, thank you very much. And it acts as a poison, and it kills you slowly, so it makes you look like you just got sick and died of scurvy or whatever it is. No one can really find the actual true reason why that person died. Is that a real poison?
Let me do my turn. Let me see. I'm gonna do a little
do the research, and I will talk about the next scene. All right. Everybody's getting ready inside the pits, and troops are ready because while they're training, Mr. Regent Sunny walks in. Everybody's, "Regent, at attention!" And they're all getting up here. And all of a sudden, Sunny is gathering up the troops. He's making sure that everybody's going. The Colts and also the Clippers. He's organizing a particular battalion. Certain ones. He's like, you, totally skips over MK and you. And he's, "Oh, I want to fight." Kind of like a Ryder when he's talking about, "Oh, I want to do this." No, you're not going anywhere.
Now, John, yes, it is. In fact, of course, it's a real thing. And it is originally, it's It's called Acontium, and it's also known Wolf's Bane. It also redirects here, also known as Leper's Bane, Mouse Bane, Woman's Bane, Devil's Bane, Blue Rocket. It's a genuine of over 250 species of flowers or plants. It's used to poison wolves. It also is several species use it as arrow poison.
Awesome. Now, I'm pretty much, I think I heard Wolfsbane maybe in Game of Thrones or some other TV show.
Yeah, I mean, there's a monologue that one of the characters has in Game of Thrones where they list about 17,000 different poisons. I think you're right. I think it was one of the ones mentioned. But it's the roots are supplied by the Napelles poison contains large quantities of the deadly poison, and it's mainly used in arrows with hunters, and one man in a kayak armed with a poison tip lance would hunt a whale, paralyzing him, causing him to die, things like that.
Whales, awesome. All right, next scene.
Awesome. We got wait a second, John. I think I have a call from PETA. They're monitoring this. Killing whales is awesome. What?
Yes.
Like,
hey, Moby Dick is a motherfucker.
Fuck that. Yeah, you ask Ahab if he wants to kill a fucking whale, motherfucker.
That white whale. All right, the calm before the storm. Calm Before the Storm is the next scene that actually comes up. Here's a really cool thing that I wasn't quite sure. I think that the set location was New Orleans, because New Orleans has a their graveyards, especially this particular graveyard, I believe, was also featured in Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which was a John Woo movie. It's very unique in the style that it's very like a grassy kind of huge. They're huge monolith kind of headstones everywhere around. Maybe they have mausoleum.
You're absolutely correct. The filming location for Into the Badlands, for the most part, was New Orleans, Louisiana.
Boom! I know my shit. Nice. All right. So as they're approaching,
and I just want to say one quick thing about something we were talking about last week before we continue. The ratings for episode 3 from episode 2 actually went up. We went from episode 1 that had 6.39 million people, episode 2 had 4.83, and then episode 3 had 5.17 million people.
Oh, yes, and I guarantee you. Now, episode 4, did they have episode 4?
Not yet. That won't be out till next week.
I would have to say over under 6. What do you think?
I think under. I'm going under 6 because of other reasons. We'll talk about it next week. I think we should readdress this, because I think one thing we should just keep an eye out as we're heading into these last episodes is the second season watch. Will AMC give them a second season?
That is a good question. Very much so. I would have to say I'm going to go with the over, just a little bit over, either over or the same. It's going to be at 6,000 or more.
Cool. We'll check in on that next week.
Let's hope so. All right. As we're approaching, we're seeing the two particular ones. You're seeing Zephyr first and her Clippers walking toward the Baron and his Clippers. And then we get introduced to Jacoby, who is none other than the dreadlock vampire from Twilight.
Yeah, I was wondering where I recognized him for. Holy shit.
Eyes.
And one quick thing we skipped over, but it's real quick, that MK wants to go with Sunny and Sunny leaves him behind. He's like, and Sunny's like, I'm your cult. I mean, MK's like, I'm your cult. I'm coming with you. And Sunny's like, no, fuck you.
You done fucked up with that veil stuff.
And we also get a very brief scene with the Baron looking out a window with a broken button. It's scenes like that make the Baron and the actor that's playing him like so fucking amazing. It's just this little moment where the Baron's waiting to take off on the attack or to meet the other Clipper force, and he's looking out the window, a button breaks on his shirt, and he looks at it. It's just such a great acting moment. I know sometimes people could think of those moments as nothing, but things like that just add so much texture for someone like me and make me view this as higher quality than so many other things that are on television right now.
Definitely. Here's one particular thing that I thought was pretty funny. Along with Jacoby being the dreadlock zombie, the dreadlock vampire from Twilight, he also had a Moss haircut. Moss from IT Crowd. He had a part where it's like, so
I want to say, I'm going to double check on this because I could be wrong. I want to say he was on Heroes as well.
Oh, yes, he was.
Was he the guy that got angry or that fed off people's emotions? That
yes.
He had the power. I can feel that you're angry, and we do shit like that and like puff up and get
Days of Futures Past too.
I don't know, but I'm gonna look him up.
That's very interesting. He was probably the kid who could absorb any kind of material and almost be indestructible, much like Grunge from Gen 13 in the Image Wildstorm comics made by J. Scott Campbell. Okay, as they're talking about like we had nothing to do with your gold shipment, and they're talking about the interaction as far as like you said how Baron Quinn, like I guess Jacoby talks about how you weren't recognizing her as the Baroness, and they're talking about it was the Baroness's fault, and we were being framed, and how they're talking back and forth, conversing how like she said, he said, and we cut to kind of like a creepy kind of ninja in a hood running toward the actual moments, and they're kind of hiding. And of course MK sneaking in there and having this weird interaction between Sunny and him, saying like, oh whatever, go look out. So he's doing a lookout and he sees the girl with a hood. Apparently it's a girl. It's Tilda.
It's Tilda. And I'm wrong, it's not the guy from Heroes, but you were right, he is from Twilight. He's been in a lot of shit though.
Yeah, definitely.
He was in X-Men First Class actually as well.
Yes, I was right. Excellent. He was the kid who, or the guy that could absorb anything, the one who got killed by Kevin Bacon's character. Spoiler, sorry if you haven't seen it. It's been out.
He's also in something called one episode of something. This is just quick because I like the name. Namaste, bitches. A TV series. One episode. It must not. That must have only lasted a single episode. Now he did that earlier this year. Good name though.
Yeah. Do you know what else lasted one episode?
What's that?
The Dr. Ruth.
Oh gosh, the Dr. Ruth show.
Anyway, that's way before your time, kids.
No, she was. It's funny you mentioned that because I was watching a Quantum Leap episode where Quantum Leap leaps into Dr. Ruth in an episode.
Really?
Yes.
Oh gosh, not boring shit. We don't want to bore people.
People are like, whoa, how old are you guys? No. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about Quantum. No, but Quantum Leap's not boring shit. If you haven't watched Quantum Leap, that's a good show.
Boop, 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 boop. Oh, hitting it.
Hey, Al. We got to do a Quantum Leap skit one day, John. You be my Al. I'll be Sam. I see.
I don't know.
The next convention we go to together, let's do a Quantum Leap skit.
Awesome. Oh my God, I'm so down with that. All right, MK actually sees Tilda and he starts yelling, hey, hey, hey. And it's kind of like the shot heard around the world because automatically they're like, ambush? Did somebody say ambush? And all of a sudden they start attacking. They start fighting and jumping in and they're going against each other. And that's when we have Jacoby and Baron Quinn going against each other. We have Zephyr and Sunny going against each other, matching wits beside everybody. And also MK starts chasing after Tilda. And of course, like, boom, she's running, boom, right in front. What are you doing it here? How dare you? You started all this. And all of a sudden they start fighting and apparently, gets cut. And this scene is where we get to see MK's true power. We're not just seeing like a one punch man thing. We're seeing a tremendous power. We're seeing superhuman ability to jump and kind of like morph into a different area. And also we're seeing superhuman power where he's beating it, like he hits her, boom, slams her against the wall, lifts her up. And this is kind of like the love thing and how
love solves all. And one good thing before that, there's also a cool action moment where someone where Tilda, I think, throws something to attack Quinn.
That's
and
right. Oh my God.
Sunny just like catches it in midair, like right in front of his head.
That is the baddest ass. I don't know why I remember that. That's probably going to be the picture for this recap.
And then Quinn, I love how Quinn almost doesn't even miss a beat, just turns to Sunny and then immediately pulls out his sword and just starts hacking fucking people down.
Like, hey man.
Okay, thanks for that.
Nice.
And this, as I mentioned earlier, was the orgasm of the episode when it's just like madcap action all over the place.
I totally agree with you. Oh my God, it was just amazing how everybody was just going crazy. MK is messing up stuff and also, but the thing is, Tilda is like, MK, and he's all like, do you know what? Do you know how he was able to focus?
He got an erection.
Exactly.
Does that really? He did.
South Park is like, Jimmy's like, she's a good girl. Jimmy, you're thinking with your penis again. No, I'm not. She's really Jimmy. You're thinking with your penis again. It's like, what's this major power that overcame me? All the blood is rushing down.
Threw a ninja star at you, dude. You know, you think she was trying to miss? I don't think she was trying to miss.
Yeah, because as we're fighting and everything, and you're going back and forth, I believe now, is this before the actual stop of the fight, or is
this
this
is where it's kind of hard to speak this, because we just get a huge awesome fight sequence where basically Sunny and Quinn kill all the extra soldiers, but the two other barons end up, Zephyr and the other baron end up killing all of Quinn's men, and it's just like you can see the best fighters are winning. And then Sunny kind of separates for a second and goes and watches what's going on with Tilda and MK and just watches the whole situation. She sees him after MK passes out for a second and throws a ninja star at him, and he dodges it, and then he sees it on the ground, picks it up, realizes it's from the Widow, and goes to the fight, throws it to Zephyr, not attacking wise, throw it to Zephyr right as the two of them, Zephyr and the other Baron, surround Quinn. And you can tell that Quinn's he can't beat both of these people. And he's about to get struck down. And Sunny interrupts and goes, "It was the Widow the whole time." To which the other Baron goes, "Listen, you pissed off this because you pissed off the Widow because you wouldn't consider her Baron. This is your problem. You want all of us to lay back and get back to the way shit was. You fucking put your hat in your hand and apologize to this woman and get okay with her, and then we'll be okay with you. Peace out."
I thought that Jacobee actually said to kill the Widow.
Okay, that's where maybe she did, because I think his exact line was he needs to deal with the Widow if he wants the other barons to back off. So it could be interpreted either way. Both of us could be correct. Exactly. I tend to think he meant go kiss some ass, but you're probably right. He meant kill her, and we're all set.
In the Badlands, there is no kissing ass. There is chopping off of ass.
Yeah, you're very true. You're absolutely right, actually. So Quinn returns with his Clipper force to the fort. But Sunny immediately notices that something's wrong. There are no cogs in the field. And I think it's very important. This is where the show pays off with some things that they set up early. Silly little things like in the first or second shot of the entire series is seeing all the fields always filled with men, or all the soldiers training. And we have those images set in. So right when we show up, we, like Sunny, can tell something's not right. Like, what the fuck's going on? There's no cogs in the field. They just see dead fucking Clippers.
All the barracks are void of any Clippers or any Colts. So
anybody, and everyone seems to be fucking gone. Yeah, and they end up, they dismount, and then they go check out the inside.
And they find out that the parlay between Baron Jacobee and Zephyr and all his Clippers was a diversion.
On Zephyr's part, not on Jacobee's part. Jacobee thought it was real.
We later find out that Zephyr is in collusion with the Widow, and it's very interesting because when they're searching around, they actually find one surviving person, and what a surprise!
Yeah, it's
handmaiden to Beatrice.
I guess I was wrong. She's not a red shirt. She's gonna be an integral character because she didn't just die.
Let's hope. It'd be very interesting to see a whole lot more and see more of a backstory, or find out more about Beatrice or anything that actually happened.
She's gonna be our conduit to that, because she's been around for the longest period of time of someone we know. Her and Waldo are going to be our history experts of the Badlands.
I believe that it was either Sunny or the Baron Quinn that said, "Let's hear the story." And they wanted to know exactly what happened, and then
it was Baron, and Baron actually acted really nice in this scene to her, and that's where you see why he obviously got the power he did, because he's not only strong, he's not only a good warrior, he's not only tactical, he also knows how to be nice when he wants to be, and he knows how to reward. I mean, yeah, by killing the doctors, but that was a different kind of circumstance. But if you're nice to him, he knows how to be.
He got mad.
He got mad. He got mad. He found out he had cancer. Trust me, it's a fucked up situation. Like, he got pissed. He got pissed off. So I ultimately get that. But with him, but I think ultimately the Baron's probably the best man of all the Barons. As fucked up as that's going to sound, that's the vibe I get. That everyone else is a little bit more. We're getting the vibe that he's a deeper man, that he has a deeper level. So yeah, I think that the Baron is probably the best of the men of the Barons. He seems to have a nice quality, or a warm quality, that I would doubt you would see from what we briefly have learned about Jacobee. And I mean, maybe the Widow could have that too, but she doesn't even let her soldiers enjoy a moment of dancing. I bet if that was Baron Quinn in that situation, and he came in and in that same situation, some of his younger younger colts were doing that, were dancing or something, he'd probably be like, I liked that song when I was a youth, but we need to be serious now. You know, he'd be nicer about it.
And also, I think that the Baroness was actually frustrated and stressed out why she did that. And also, they didn't clean shit. They had an hour to clean the place, and they didn't do anything. But I think that the reason why the Baron was so friendly and kind of worried with the handmaid is because he has a relationship with her, because she's the handmaiden of his former wife.
Oh, very true. Very, very true. And also, she's the only cog he has left, and he wants to reward. He says, I reward the loyalty.
Exactly, because she told him exactly what happened in regards to all the Clippers are dead, and the widow took all the coats, and the reason why they went with her is because she promised them gold.
Mm-hmm. So we have 2 more scenes to talk about. The next scene is Ryder. It's kind of a weird cut. I'm not going to lie. The way they cut from that scene to this scene, it's a little bit of it's like day to night, and it's just a weird, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying anything horrible about it, but it's just from like an editing standpoint, it's just a kind of a weird quick cut to suddenly to him getting his, you don't even see him show up with the hood on. You just come into the scene with the hood being taken off. I would have liked to
get captured. It's like, I guess.
When did that happen? Yeah, when it was a cut. It was obviously a cut scene that they had to cut for time. That when he ends up getting captured or at some point gets something put on his head and goes, we can't show you where we're bringing you or something. And I know it's maybe I'm an idiot because I need it, but I needed it. I kind of felt like I needed it. I needed like a 2-second transition scene.
Hey, I don't blame you. The one thing is, yeah, they explain to him what's going on and how it's Zephyr with Ryder, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the lovely Baroness.
Oh my god!
Find out that that's actually
She's so easy to look at.
Exactly. Oh my god, her hair, her face.
Oh my goodness.
Nice, milky.
She looks so good in this scene too. Like she's such a badass, and she's such a strong female character. It's such a turn on seeing like television characters like that for me. But she's also just so easy on the eyes. I can't say that enough.
She actually favorited one of my tweets when I actually said, I'm so glad that AMC has another strong red-haired female in the rotation as far as TV shows.
Besides Annie.
Exactly. Yeah, we have transition. That show's over. Now we're moving on to the incident.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Sorry. So she pulls off the hood off Ryder's head and demands to know where Jacoby is. And immediately when the widow shows up, he tries to act like he tries to almost echo his father's words. You're not the Baron.
Strong.
You're not a Baron. You just didn't even get power. And the widow's like, dude, shut up. You tried to kill me. I tried to kill you. We're fucking even. Let's talk about our mutual enemy, your father. And he hopes that if you follow my thing, I'll make you the Baron. I'll make her, Zephyr, the Baron of Jacoby's lands. And Ryder, very smart, says, well, what's in it for you? I said that like Jim Kirk for some reason. What's in it for you?
Join the dark side, Ryder. Join the dark side.
Bring me the boy. I have to strike him down. She basically says, you need to bring me MK. And if you bring me MK, I'll make you Baron. And Ryder agrees. He says, sure, I'm in.
It's very
now, do you think he just one little to give Ryder, the character, not the actor, to give Ryder credit for a second here? Is he going to go back and tell Quinn? Or is he really going to try to make this plan happen?
I believe that he, depending on it, because he's had a lot of stuff happen to him this episode, along with the previous episodes, his mother disowning him, because that's what Widow brings up. Here's the one thing. How the hell did she know that? The fact that her mother dismissed her. And the fact
she must have has spies. She's a spies with many eyes.
Hey, do you know what'd be crazy? If Jade was actually a spy for the Widow.
That would be cool. I mean, I think Jade would probably be, at this point, she'd be the only person that possibly could be a spy for the Widow, other than it was one of the cogs. Ultimately, it's probably not going to get explained, and it's supposed to just say it was one of the cogs that ends up going with her at the end that she was paying ahead of time to give information. Someone that's close, maybe Lydia's hair maiden or something. And I also want to know, when they show back up there, after everyone was killed, did we see Jade or Lydia? Were they there during the whole thing?
No, we didn't see any of that. I don't know if they're in a strong.
But I guess they just killed everyone in the fields. They didn't actually get in the castle gates.
Yeah, the door was locked.
The door was still locked, so they didn't actually get in there. So that's useless.
Deadbolt. They can't get in.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, they had the deadbolt on. They had the alarm system too, so no one wants to go near the door.
And they had Ving Rhames in front of the door.
Exactly. So basically, Ryder agrees to betray his dad. Whether he really will or not will be remained to see.
Oh, exactly.
Well, how he's gonna fuck this up will still be remained to see. It struck me as one of those almost comic booky, not in a bad way, but just like comic book moment where the main villain is, and it's hard to say who the villain is in this, but I just mean the scenario. The main villain is getting the bad guy to join their forces because I need your help to kill the turtles. I need your help to kill the turtles. Let me hire you. Okay, I'm gonna kill the turtles, and we're just gonna watch this guy lose. Ryder's just gonna die and lose really badly.
It's gonna be like a Quentin Tarantino or smoking aces or whatever. Like one person kills another person, that person ends up dead, but that one person survives that, and it's gonna be really weird to see how it turns out in the finale for season 1 of Into the Badlands.
Right, and I have a feeling it's going to culminate in the finale, and that's a big question as we're looking towards the end. And right now, it obviously looks like we are going to get a season 2 just from the ratings if we go ratings alone. But it will be interesting to see how the show handles that from a standpoint of story. A lot of shows, when they're unfamiliar or don't know if they're going to get a second season, yet they end the show with a conclusion of some sort. I don't know if we're going to get any cliffhangers in the end with the assumption that they're getting a second season.
I'll bet anybody that they're going to get a season 2. I
hope so. I hope they get a season 2, and it looks like that they're probably going to. It's just AMC tended to in the past with shows announce their second seasons or the renewals during the first season. So I think if it's a guarantee, we'll probably hear in the next 2 weeks, because they did that with Better Call Saul. They did a couple of other shows that they announced after the first couple of weeks that oh yes, they've already been picked up for a season 2. So I do hope that that AMC doesn't drop the ball here, or if they do, someone else picks up this show. As I said last week, this might be an eventual Netflix series or something.
Yeah. Wherever it goes, I will be a fan of it. All right, as we're
last scene of the episode, John. Oh,
last scene of the episode. Oh, my logo.
Yeah. Computer knew it was the last scene. The last scene of the episode that we get to is the introduction of the River King, which is something and again, I applaud this show for doing this. It's one of those things that a lesser show would make you wait 2 more episodes to meet the River King. This show gives it to you. Packs it all in that nice tight hour. And the River King brings Sunny aboard the ship, and I wrote with big lines under it, a very modern looking ship. And he brings them, he talks about a shipment of cogs that were there. There's been a slaughter. Oh, I forgot to mention, Sunny goes out there and he asks to see the River King. The River King says, oh, Waldo must really like you to give you this little toy piece.
Little toy man.
Yep, and he shows him the soldier in the river, and he goes, I want to leave the Badlands. The River King calls him a fool, and he says, you're an even bigger fool because you want to help somebody else out, but out of respect for Waldo, I'll listen to you. And then he spells out his terms for helping Sunny out in this situation, which is he needs MK. He shows him a picture of MK. MK killed all the cogs on board and disappeared. One of them survived and eyeballed this kid as killing them all. You bring him to me dead, you and your party get the fuck out of the Badlands.
You know what's weird? Because how did he kill every one of those cogs?
Did he really? I mean, do we see this at the beginning of the season? I'm trying to remember.
No, we didn't. Like, how did he kill every one of the cogs if his power, when he goes all black eyes, is only good for pretty much one action? That's a very interesting turn and how it actually happened. Or maybe if MK was kind of framed or whatever. We're not explained by that. But it's
or maybe the River King's working with the widow to help find MK.
That is a very interesting hypothesis.
or that everybody knows the power and knows the power of that symbol and all of that. So many different people are trying to get their hands on him one way or another. The Widow's maybe most hip to the game of it, so she's most proactive about it.
She's the Dawn.
Yeah, she's the Dawn. So it is, and maybe if there was a fire on board and they're just blaming it easy on MK, it's kind of like, there's some magic kid that killed everybody. But it's going to be fun to see where the rest of this season goes and how far it takes us. And as John and I were saying, are we going to be left on some cliffhangers? What is going to happen at the end here? We have 2 more episodes of Into the Badlands. I can't fucking wait.
It's amazing. This episode through and through, best episode from
best episode of the season.
I'm just amazed, and they ended on a. I think it's a very clever, kind of like cliffhanger, much like the kind of like no-win scenario.
It's a moral dilemma of where Sunny's loyalties truly lie. Does it lie to his honor? Does it lie to his family? Does it lie to his Baron? It sets Sunny up in a very interesting position where, as you said, that he has 3 directions to go and all 3 land to a pile of shit.
Yeah. Because am I going to take care of my wife and child, or am I going to spare the life of some kid that I have no idea?
And can I even kill this kid?
Yeah, exactly. He's also possessed by a demon. Should I take care of him?
Yeah, sure. Like, what should I do about this kid? Or am I going to have to stop this kid anyway? Should I nip it in the butt? If I cut his head off, is a demon going to crawl out of him? I mean, what is going to happen?
What is his true potential power? Is he going to be able to like grow bigger? Is he going to be able to be unstoppable? Will this power consume him and he'll be permanently this way? More next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Dun, dun, dun. That's funny. I was going to make a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
We saw in the promos after the episode ends that there's going to be a major fight between, I believe, Sunny and MK, which is crazy because this may show that Sunny has chosen his family over MK. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that especially AMC is very deceptive in their trailers. It looked like this episode and last week was going to be just one giant battle. So it'll be interesting. We also hear Sunny in the previews for next week talking to Jade about, I think I found a way out of the Badlands, but it's maybe going to cost too much. Vale, thank you.
Yep. Okay, great. All right, let's see if we can get some music going for the end.
Oh, yeah. Kick in the music. The music. So, yeah, we're really excited, and we will be back next week and the week after to talk about the last 2 episodes of Into the Badlands. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Great. All right. My name is John Riley. You can find me at BroHawkRiley on Twitter. RedCloudRiley.com is my website. You can find this YouTube page, my Instagram, Vine, also older podcasts that I did called The Couch Masters.
Bam.
With Phil and D-Ray and a bunch of other people.
You won't even say Jesse's name. You're
like 1 episode or whatever.
Yeah, like a half a one.
So yeah, it's on SoundCloud and or Mixcloud, sorry. And there's a lot of other cool things going on. But yeah, and also twitch.tv/the_couchmasters. I'm occasionally on there. It's no big deal. We're just hanging out. Phil.
Yeah, you can find my stuff at issuesprogram.com. But basically, if you just Google Phil the Issues Guy, you'll see all my shit come up. But it's issuesprogram.com is my website where they aggregated most of my podcasts and articles. Phil the Issues Guy on YouTube or Phil's Recap and Review. You can follow me on Twitter at I Got Issues Man. Find my Google community group if you search Friends of Phil the Issues Guy, also on Facebook. I do have an Instagram and stuff, Quark Odo or something like that. You can find me on Snapchat and send me weird, funny face pictures. It's funny, Dworkin, that's the only way I talk to Dworkin is through Snapchat.
That's funny. The only way I talk to
But yeah, you can find me in all those places. And you can also, for Joe DirtyLockZ, who is one of my co-hosts on a couple of my podcasts, we have a secondary channel that we do some game streams on YouTube called Dirty Issues Gaming. So check that out as well.
Great. Excellent. Shout outs to all the great commenters, supporters on Twitter, people who are always commenting on the particular shows that we have posted on here for the Into the Badlands YouTube series. Al Red Sox and Ray Watts, who who I believe are also viewers of your stuff.
Yes, I love both of you guys. And Al Red Sox fan, I will say, check out Al Red Sox fan's video game streams. He's a very funny, funny streamer. He has a lot of cool stuff to say. His YouTube page, you can subscribe to him. He does some streams of some PlayStation 4 games, and he's amusing to watch. So check him out.
Also, Oliver Stark, please help us out. BroHawkRiley@gmail.com. If you could record something real quick for us, just say, this is Oliver Stark and you're watching into the Talking Badlands with John and Phil. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, you can, with John and Phil, with John Riley and Phil the Issues Guy, if you want to extend that.
Whatever you want to do.
That was easy. If you want to put our last names, Riley, the Issues Guy. If you want to do that, that's fine. We're not begging. But if you want, we will always say Ryder did the right thing.
Be your best friend.
Yes, we can be bribed.
All right. Great. Thank you very much for watching. And may good luck follow you into the virtual battlefield, my friends. Phil, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Great. Bye.